I'm singing Believe by Brooks and Dunn for this round. I wanted to sing this song for my mom because she's one of those people that's always taught me to believe.
This just in, an 18-year-old from a quiet Louisiana town has taken the music world by storm. But behind the spotlight, there's a story you haven't heard. A story of heartbreak, faith, and one gut-wrenching performance that changed everything. John Foster didn't just show up on American Idol. He arrived with a voice that cut through the noise and a past that silenced the crowd. One moment, he was playing in small-town bars. The next, he was the runner-up on national television, leaving over 26 million voters stunned. He's young, he's grounded, and his net worth is climbing faster than Nashville can call his name. But who is John Foster behind the stage lights? What secrets lie in the homes he escapes to when the cameras stop rolling? What drives him aside from the roar of applause? Today, we take you inside the world of the country music newcomer who's redefining stardom, not with scandal, but with sincerity. And make no mistake, John Foster's journey didn't begin in Hollywood. It began with loss. John Foster's voice isn't just heard, it's felt. At just 18, his sound has been described as a throwback to country's golden era. A gritty yet tender tone that echoes legends like Alan Jackson and George Strait, but with something new, something raw, something unmistakably his. When he first stepped onto the American Idol stage in early 2025, few expected what followed. Even fewer were prepared for the storm he'd unleash, beginning with a soul-stirring rendition of Goodbye Time, originally planned on the fly at Carrie Underwood's suggestion. It wasn't just a performance, it was a moment. Underwood called it haunting. Luke Bryan leaned in. Lionel Richie said what most of America was thinking. That voice doesn't come around often. The audience agreed, and soon a fan base exploded online, drawn not just to the voice, but the feeling behind it. Every lyric he sang felt lived in, especially his original ballad, Tell That Angel I Love Her, a song so personal, so emotionally charged, it left both judges and viewers in tears. Yet even as views climbed and headlines followed, John remained understated. No flasciantics, no calculated controversies, just talent, soulful aching talent. His net worth may still be modest by industry standards, but insiders are watching. Streaming numbers are growing, record labels are circling, and projections suggest the teen from Addis, Louisiana, could be one of the genre's biggest breakout stars by next year. But before the fame, there was grief. And what fueled John Foster's unforgettable voice was a story that nearly broke him. To understand the depth behind John Foster's music, you have to start in Addis, Louisiana, a small town where everyone knows your name, and faith runs deeper than the Mississippi. Born in 2007, John was raised in West Baton Rouge Parish, where front porch conversations, church choirs, and country music shaped the rhythm of daily life. His family wasn't wealthy. There were no fancy studios or big city connections. What he had was grit and the unwavering support of parents who taught him that hard work mattered more than headlines. But life didn't protect him from tragedy. In 2022, just a teenager, John faced a loss that would define him forever. Two of his closest friends, Maggie Dunn and Caroline Gill, were killed in a devastating car crash. For most, that kind of grief at 15 is paralyzing. For John, it became his purpose. He poured the pain into music. And from it came Tell That Angel I Love Her, a tribute so powerful it stopped a national TV audience in its tracks. The song wasn't manufactured. It wasn't a marketing tool. It was grief, raw and real, turned into melody. Judges cried. Viewers flooded social media. Even hardened industry veterans took notice. But it wasn't just the loss that shaped John. It was his quiet strength through it all. While peers posted TikToks, John was performing in dimly lit restaurants, finishing homework backstage and honoring his friends not with hashtags, but with harmonies. And somehow, amid the heartbreak, he was still topping his class. While many teens were navigating high school drama and college applications, John Foster was walking a tighter rope, juggling academic excellence and a budding music career with quiet determination. Graduating as co-valedictorian of Bresley High School's class of 2024, he didn't just make the grade, he set the standard. Between calculus exams and term papers, John was booking gigs at local bars, playing to modest crowds with the same passion he'd later show on national TV. It wasn't glamorous, He'd often perform late into the night, then wake up at dawn for school. He studied on sound checks. He rehearsed between classes. And through it all, his focus never wavered. Teachers praised his discipline. Classmates respected his hustle. He was never the singer in school, he was simply John. The guy with the guitar, the grades, and the grit to carry both. This dual life wasn't without pressure. At one point, insiders say John considered delaying his Idol audition, fearing it would distract from graduation. But those around him, family, friends, even mentors at church, encouraged him to go for it. That decision would change everything. Because when he finally stepped into that audition room, it wasn't just a student performing. It was a young man forged by responsibility, sacrifice, and a deep love for music. And with just one song, he'd win over millions. When John Foster walked into his American Idol audition in early 2025, few outside Louisiana knew his name. That changed within minutes. Originally prepared to sing a different track, John made a split-second decision that would define his run. At the urging of Judge Carrie Underwood, he switched to an acoustic version of Conway Twitty's Goodbye Time. It was a risk, it was bold, and it paid off. All three judges, Underwood, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie, voted yes, and America quickly followed. Viewers didn't just hear a song, they heard a story. And that story would grow deeper with each performance. As the competition advanced, John delivered a series of unforgettable moments. He breathed new life into country classics like Brooks and Dunn's Neon Moon and Alan Jackson's Don't Rock the Jukebox. But it was his original song, Tell That Angel I Love Her, that truly shook the Idol stage. Performed in honor of his late friends, the ballad didn't just earn standing ovations. It moved audiences to tears. Even the notoriously tough-to-impress Richie called it one of the most authentic performances in Idol's history. John wasn't just competing, he was connecting. Week after week, his performances climbed trending charts. Social media buzzed. Fan accounts multiplied. His following ballooned from hundreds to hundreds of thousands. And on May 18, 2025, he stood in the Idol finale. Although he ultimately placed second, behind Jamal Roberts and alongside fellow finalist Brianna Nix, his impact was undeniable. Over 26 million votes were cast, marking the most engagement since the show's move to ABC. But for John, it was never about the title. It was about the message. And by the time the lights dimmed, one thing was clear. America hadn't just found a new artist. It had found a voice worth following. When the American Idol cameras stopped rolling, John Foster didn't pause. He accelerated. Just days after the finale, he announced his first major headlining performance at the Cajun Country Jam in Denham Springs, Louisiana. Scheduled for Memorial Day weekend 2025, it wasn't just a homecoming, it was a message. He was ready to step out of the Idol spotlight and into his own. Behind the scenes, momentum was building. Since 2022, John had quietly released 4 singles, including Tell That Angel I Love Her, which saw a surge in downloads after his Idol performance. Now, industry insiders are watching closely. Whispers from Nashville suggest a debut EP may be on the horizon before the year ends. While no official label has been announced, multiple reports claim independent and major record companies have approached the young artist. Some even speculate that a collaboration with neo-traditionalists like Zach Top or a co-writing session with Lainey Wilson could be in the works. Musically, John's trajectory leans toward the classics, but with a modern edge. Critics have compared his tone to Dwight Yoakam, but with a sincerity that feels new to today's country scene. He's also being praised for doing things differently, eschewing the influencer route and focusing on craft. While others chase virality, John's team is building a long-term brand rooted in authenticity and timeless sound. For now, his focus appears to be simple. Stay grounded, keep recording, and serve the fan base that got him here. But if industry buzz is to be believed, the next time John Foster takes the stage, it won't be on reality television. It'll be on country music's biggest charts. John Foster may be a rising star, but his homes reflect something deeper than fame. They tell the story of a young man rooted in tradition, quietly stepping into a life of growing success. At just 18, he's already associated with 3 distinct properties across the South, each revealing a different side of the artist America fell in love with. The Nashville Countryside Manor, $1.5 million. Nestled just outside Nashville, Tennessee, this 4,800 square foot estate rests on 5 sprawling acres. It's more than a house, it's a retreat. With wraparound porches, black shutters, and a wide gravel driveway lined with oak trees, the home evokes classic Southern charm. Inside, the manor is both rustic and refined. Vaulted ceilings, exposed wooden beams, and a stone fireplace anchor the main room, while a gourmet kitchen, complete with a farmhouse sink and double ovens, nods to John's love of baking pecan pies. For bedrooms offer luxury without excess, and outside, a glistening in-ground pool, vegetable garden, and fire pit round out the landscape. According to those close to him, this is where John writes, records, and rests between gigs in Nashville. The Baton Rouge Bayou Cottage, $1.3 million. Back home in Louisiana, John's connection to his roots takes physical form in a bayou-side cottage just outside Baton Rouge. At 4,000 square feet on a secluded 3-acre lot, it's a warm tribute to his Cajun upbringing. Cypress siding, tin roofing, and a screened-in porch draped in Spanish moss frame, a view many would call postcard perfect. Inside, heart pine floors and a brick fireplace give the space a nostalgic touch. The kitchen, designed with gumbo and jambalaya in mind, includes a pot filler over a 6-burner stove. The property even features a detached garage with a loft, rumored to double as a jam space for John and close collaborators. This cottage isn't flashy. It's familiar, a place where crawfish boils meet quiet morning coffee, and where the rising star still feels like a local kid from Addis. The Asheville Mountain Hideaway, $1.1 million. Further east in the tranquil hills of North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains sits John's most secluded residence, a 3,500 square foot log-style cabin surrounded by towering pines. Here, the noise of the industry fades. The cathedral ceiling great room and its massive stone fireplace offer a meditative space, while an open concept kitchen with mason jars of homemade preserves suggests a simpler rhythm of life. Outdoors, a hot tub, fire pit, and private hiking trails lead to a nearby creek, ideal for quiet moments or inspiration sessions far from the public eye. Friends say this hideaway is John's secret weapon. It's not just a house, it's where lyrics are born. 3 homes, 3 different worlds, but all rooted in the same values: simplicity, serenity, and the kind of authenticity that's rare in the music industry. And while his homes reflect peace, his garage tells another story entirely. John Foster's music might echo tradition, but his taste in cars reveals a different note, one of horsepower, thrill, and style. At just 18, Foster already owns a trio of vehicles that balance his southern roots with the speed of rising fame. Each car tells its own story. One built for the spotlight, one for the fast lane, and one for the muddy trails back home. Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, $600,000. First up is the crown jewel, a lime green Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, with a 6.5-liter V12 engine roaring out 770 horsepower. This supercar hits 60 miles per hour in just under 2.8 seconds. It's bold, it's loud, and with scissor doors and a Verde Ithaca finish, it turns heads wherever it goes. John has been spotted behind the wheel along Louisiana's winding back roads, the roar of the engine echoing through bayou country. This isn't just a car, it's a declaration, a signal that the quiet kid from Addis is now a force to be reckoned with. Porsche 911 Turbo S, $230,000. For something sleeker, but just as serious, John relies on his Porsche 911 Turbo S. This twin-turbocharged beast churns out 640 horsepower and reaches top speed in under 3 seconds. Finished in jet black metallic with red leather interior, it offers a more refined presence than the Lamborghini, but with no less power. Its high-performance handling and all-wheel drive make it perfect for zipping through Tennessee traffic or cruising the Nashville outskirts. And with a premium Bose sound system on board, it doubles as his personal mobile studio. Insiders say this is his everyday performance car, a machine that's just as versatile as his voice. Ford F-150 Raptor, $80,000. But perhaps the most telling vehicle in John's garage is his Ford F-150 Raptor. Finished in lead foot gray with blackout rims, this rugged pickup truck stays true to his country roots. With 450 horsepower, all-terrain tires, and a heavy-duty suspension system, The Raptor is built for hauling music gear one day and tearing up trails the next. The interior? Leather trim seats, a massive touchscreen, and country music always playing. It's not just a truck, it's a reminder of where he came from. Practical, powerful, and unpretentious. From European speed machines to Southern steel, John Foster's garage tells us something deeper. Fame hasn't changed his taste, it's just expanded it. And yet, under all that horsepower and horsepower balladry lies the heart of a small-town boy loyal, faithful, and fiercely grounded. Behind the stage lights and roaring engines, John Foster remains exactly who his hometown says he's always been: humble, faithful, and rooted in the people who raised him. At 18, John isn't married. He has no children, no flashy tabloid romances, and no scandal-laced headlines. What he does have is something far rarer in entertainment: stability. His family, especially his parents and younger sister, Presley, play a central role in his life. They've appeared by his side during public moments, including an emotional return home in May 2025, when John visited Brusley High School and performed at the Louisiana State Capitol. That day, he stood in front of lawmakers and friends alike, performing Amazing Grace with the same sincerity that made him a finalist. "I think sometimes they get tired of me talking about Louisiana so much," he joked, "but it's who I am." Those aren't just words. His faith and commitment to community run deep. John was an active member of St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Brusley. There, he wasn't a celebrity. He was a kid with a guitar who led a Bible club and played music for Sunday Mass. The church's pastor, Reverend Arun John, described him simply: in spite of having so many talents, he's very humble. Even as his fame grew, John showed a calm, grounded response to the spotlight. During his time on Idol, rumors swirled online. Some fans speculated he had signed a record deal early. Others falsely questioned his age. But John never lashed out. He simply posted a clear, respectful clarification. And when a minor controversy arose, allegations that he knew the winner before the finale aired, he shut it down immediately. No drama, just honesty. "I didn't know the results ahead of time," he stated. "I found out the same way you did." Far from damaging his reputation, that response only strengthened it. Fans praised his transparency. Viewers found him even more relatable. When not on stage, John continues to give back. He volunteers at local venues, performs at community events, and frequently credits small towns like Addis, Brusley, Plaquemine, and Port Allen for supporting him before anyone else did. In an industry known for ego, John Foster remains an anomaly, a public figure with a private compass. A rising star who still makes time for Sunday service, home-cooked meals, and backyard jam sessions. But even grounded roots don't erase the pressure of fame. And as John closed one chapter, he opened a new one full of risk, promise, and something to prove. As the final notes of his American Idol journey faded, John Foster left fans with one last surprise. Not a song, but a letter. "I can vividly remember that feeling of, I'll never be good enough in my early days of Idol," he wrote. "And I can gladly say that I proved myself wrong." That vulnerability struck a chord just as powerful as his music. From the quiet streets of Addis to the bright lights of Hollywood, John Foster's rise is more than a Cinderella story. It's a blueprint for how to stay true in a world that often rewards the opposite. He didn't sell controversy. He didn't rely on gimmicks. He led with character, talent, and something country music's been missing: sincerity. His homes reflect that: equal parts humble and aspirational. His cars reflect his dual identity: a dreamer with both southern boots and fast wheels. His faith, his family, and his refusal to engage in drama have made him not just a star, but a symbol of what happens when someone channels pain into purpose. When a song becomes a tribute. When a voice once silenced by self-doubt becomes a national headline. With a debut EP rumored for late 2025 and a loyal fan base growing by the day, John Foster isn't just on the rise. He's redefining what modern country stardom can look like. He's the young man who cried on stage and then walked off stronger. The student who hit the books after band practice. The performer who looked judges in the eye and sang through heartbreak. And perhaps most remarkably, he's just getting started. For the Celeb Insider, I'm reporter name. Stay tuned, because John Foster's next chapter may just rewrite country music history.